Hi everyone, welcome to the Thread of Gentlemen.
I was waiting for Hola amigos! He's getting more gringo every time.
Next, by the way, I've been working on the O'Leary.
What's it? Go on.
Yeah, we're going to get a little someone from a certain part of the fucking world.
That's a dangerous one to do with all the tensions right now.
No, I'm healing wounds.
This character is a plaster on the blight there.
His biggest problem in life is people who drive Subaru Imprezas.
And the fucking English.
Everyone in Ireland just got very annoyed at the fact that you went to Scotland.
yeah. Aren't they all the same? They're all Celtic. Sorry, everyone.
It's not his turn yet because...
Right, let's do some stories before we get in any more trouble.
Senior! Hello and welcome to The Thread of Gentlemen,
a podcast where we take a kamikaze dive into the best
and often worse tales the internet has to offer.
I'm Johnny.
I'm Ben.
I'm Charlie, and without any further ado,
I think we need to get this show started.
I'll go first. Guys.
What you got?
This one is called The Jar, and it's sent in by Anonymous. So if you do win this week's Best Story Award, we can't send you a t-shirt.
I'm getting Glasshouse vibes already. Just don't like this.
Yeah, but we've all seen the video, right?
Yeah.
One man, one jar.
Yeah.
That's where my mind's going.
Seen it, experienced it. Have you ever seen that picture of the guy who it's like 1939, and then they took a picture of him in 1945? And it's like a Russian guy, and it's like, this is what war does to somebody. He's like deliciously good looking, and he comes out the other side, and you're like, wow, that's a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
Or he just watched Glasshouse.
Yeah. Or during the war in the trench, like, saw a masonry jar and was like, I've had a fucking idea.
I'm going to put a goldfish in that.
Call back!
And then that's going in my ass.
Going in my ass.
Okay, so this one is called The Jar.
Okay.
So I'm a woman in my 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep.
Good for you. Back to the story.
Yesterday, our garbage disposal stopped working, and I was trying to see why. So I looked around under the sink, and I moved stuff out to get in there to look around more easily. Nice.
Okay.
In the very back, tucked away, was a mason jar that I thought was just over halfway full of kitchen grease at first, but I realised it wasn't grease. I thought it looked like semen.
Oh, God.
I made the mistake of opening it, and I knew by the smell that it was definitely semen. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Disgusted, I threw it away in the dumpster outside. Why?
Why does she have a jar of semen?
Well, hopefully that's it.
You could probably make quite a lot of money with that jar. There are people out there who would be like that.
Yeah,
that's a curiosity.
Yeah, that's it. It had to have been my husband's, but I don't know why he would save semen
John,
in,
by the way,
in a jar.
That's are you close to giving up?
I'm just
Is that
thinking,
the story that makes you walk away?
I can't stop thinking of candles. You know, it's just like,
yeah.
Because like, if you've got to fill a jar of spunk, you're not doing that in a day. This is like a multi-day.
Sounds like the sort of kimchi equivalent of spunk. That sounds flammable. It does. It's just
that sounds all sorts of awful.
Yeah.
So it had to be my husband's, but I don't know why he would save semen in a jar. My husband got home and I asked him about it. He seemed very embarrassed and confessed it was indeed a jar full of semen he was filling for almost a year.
Oh, God.
That's horrible.
He lost a stag.
I was shocked and asked him why. He said whenever it was my time of the month or I wasn't in the mood, he'd jerk off in the jar after I went to bed. I asked him...
Not good enough. I'm sorry, I love it when people give answers for something and you managed to speak and not actually answer the question.
It's like the guy last week. He ticked the box, but it was for the wrong question.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't get any better.
Oh, God.
I asked him why not go to the toilet or use tissues in the shower or something. Why a fucking jar?
Yeah.
He couldn't answer that other than saying he's been doing it since he was a kid.
Oh.
I told him I want him to start using the jar because it's disgusting. He told me he didn't want to and asked where the jar was. I told him I threw it away and he was upset. He was upset.
Yeah.
So has he named it? Is it his second wife?
It's
that's every child.
Welcome to my harem of Tupperware.
There's like, do you know what I imagine it looks like inside that jar is fucking Ant-Man Quantumania?
Yeah.
Like it's literally a whole other realm in there. There are societies that are being built inside of that jar.
But if he's been topping that up for a year, imagine what it smells
Didn't he
like.
say from
in
his
there.
childhood?
Yeah. It will come in the same jar, I imagine.
Let's be honest, this guy's already fucking weird. Why stop at 1 year? Like,
Yeah.
I just
Do you reckon when it gets full, like after a year and a half, whatever, or a year of filling it
a
up,
little trade over.
he gets his spoon out?
Don't just stop. Just wherever you're going with it. Put the handbrake on. Okay?
Abandon that thought.
Pull over. Hot shoulder.
Park that train, my man. We're not going down there.
And puts it on his cereal. Sorry, I had to do it with you.
Straight away, like I don't want to defend this guy, but I get what he says
Yeah,
next.
then don't.
What, you get that he's coming in a fucking jar?
Yeah.
No.
What?
No.
No. The thing that comes up next, like
Same thing.
I get this.
Okay.
I understand where he's coming from.
He's fucking rolled the dice here, man. He put all of his chips on red. Here we go.
So yeah, I told him to throw it away, and he was upset.
Mm-hmm.
He said it took him a long time to fill the jar, and I get that.
Yeah.
If you've started something, it's hard to walk away from.
Just landed on black, bro.
You lost your
I mean,
house.
all right. I understand you commit to something.
Yeah.
In this occasion, it doesn't apply.
Man of conviction, I can get on board with that. So I still don't understand why he wants to fill a jar, for fuck's sake. We argued about it, and during the argument, he opened the refrigerator, took a large jar of pickles and dumped it out and started rinsing it out and said, "This is the cum jar now."
Leave the pickles in.
Why rinse it out? What's the... What?
Now that makes me think that there's more to this jar.
Yeah.
Like if you want to keep it medicinally clean, like I can imagine him with like marigolds on in the sink, looking over his shoulder, going, "You made this happen. This is on you now."
Before I knew it, I'm literally screaming at my husband about coming in jars, and he told him he can either come in me or the jar, but not both.
Oh, wow, good for you.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
is
She's
it?
taking a
Is
pragmatic
it?
approach to the fucking weirdest shit I've ever heard in my life. And we've had some weird stories on it,
Well,
man.
yeah.
That might be some of the oddest behaviour that we've had.
Yeah, because like, what does that lead
So
to?
far.
Like, imagine if she turned around and she's like, "Well, I've also been keeping my periods."
So after I gave him the ultimatum, he clutched the jar and stormed off to the bathroom. I was literally
Commence
speechless.
refilling.
Man of conviction.
I want to know what the argument was, because I feel like she's arguing that she's like, "You're a fucking weird cunt," and he was like, "I spent a long time doing that." They're arguing two different things.
Yeah.
Like, this is where no one's meeting eye to eye.
It took him a year.
Well, so it's a mason jar. Like
What's a
mason jars.
lifetime of jizz look like, and how often are you jizzing? There's maths involved in this.
There is. I don't want to know any of the answers to those questions.
We're through the looking glass now.
So average fella is like 10 cubic centimeters of jizz.
Yeah, but if you're doing
That
it a
was
lot,
so
like,
specific.
The band 10cc are named after it because it's there you go.
really what it is.
Yeah, it may be completely made up.
Claim a fact, man.
Yeah, claim it. Claim
Yeah.
it.
More interesting.
I'm going to own it. So I sat down and started watching TV, trying to take my mind off it, when he came out and joined me and tried to patch things up. I asked him where he hid the jar and he wouldn't fucking tell me. He told me we should just forget about the fight. He apologised to me and told me he'd make sure I didn't have to see the jar if I didn't want to.
That is not the problem.
That's not
I
the
know what he
answer.
apologised for, though, because clearly when you've fucking whacked off into a jar, got angry at the loss of said jar, understandably twisted though it may be, and you went back into the bathroom to reconvene the sordid activity, what are you apologising for?
I'm sorry that you reacted the way you did to the weird fucking thing that I did.
The jizzy jar is staying around.
So I wanted us to stop fighting, so I agreed and we didn't speak about it for the rest of the night.
Good
He
woman.
fell asleep early, but I laid in bed for over an hour thinking about the fucking jar.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's so intent on doing something so disgusting and I'm still angry about it. And I think you should be.
Good for her. She should be angry about this, but this is actually a fucking reason as to the differences between men and women, because women can take fucking high grounds.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There's just women are apparently willing to put up with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Jizzing in a fucking jar.
Yeah.
Right, I've got a fucking horrendous story.
Do it. Oh, I'm ready for it.
I'm going to rattle through it because it's a long
Bring
one.
it!
So this is called I Didn't Contribute by Kay.
And thank you, Kay, for sending it in. If you have your own stories, please send them in to stories@thefurnished.gentleman.com
Such
or
a
on the
pro.
socials or like and subscribe.
This guy's media trained.
Yeah, come on, get in there.
Okay, so he begins. I'd like to apologise to the Welsh janitor that entered a boys' dormitory expecting a quiet day at work, but instead found the remnants of a gay orgy and a sea of piss.
A haberdashery of sin.
Right. Dig into it, John.
And come to think of it, vomit too. I swear I didn't have a hand in any of it.
Bullshit.
He don't protest too much.
Like a hand as in you're involved, or literally a hand in what happened?
I got signed up to a cheap as fuck group outing for teenagers by my mother. Once I confirmed girls would be attending, I quickly got excited. Once the fabled day of departure rolled around, I was dumped in a car park with 24 similar teens and 3 wary chaperones.
You could honestly be telling me that this is happening in El Salvador, and I'd believe you.
Yeah.
I quickly socialised and clung to a group of girls on the coach ride. As we approached high gates topped with barbed wire.
Nice.
This is Mexico.
Good
Might
sign.
be.
It's
Trump's
fucking.
fault.
Tell me that you are not picturing like a dusty car park,
In Wales.
and well, the
Isn't it?
similarities are fucking potent. But yeah, like I'm picturing Mexico. Man. Like Josh Brolin's going to turn up in a bulletproof vest suit with Benicio del Toro. Fucking hell.
The security was akin to that of a high-level prison. Putting this unnerving discovery out of my mind, I turned my eyes to the interior of the complex. This hideous place resembled an abandoned barrage of Butlins or Auschwitz.
Oh wow!
Oh,
It didn't take us long
Jesus.
to have a fucking Holocaust
Oh, my
reference
God.
there. Which, by the way,
wasn't me!
no one has ever had a pleasurable time in a location where you actually describe it as a complex.
I think you're saying no one's had a pleasurable time in Auschwitz. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Moving on.
After we were assigned rooms, we left the coach and went to unpack. The floor of the hallway was blue linoleum, so sticky that it felt like flypaper.
Ooh.
It also stank of piss.
Nice.
To my right were doors leading to the dormitories, a word far too grand for the prison cells that lay beyond. I don't believe that this was like a summer camp. I think this might have been juvie.
Yeah, this sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, you've described it
Butlins.
as a complex. You assigned a room.
Yeah.
Like no one
Yeah.
uses that language. Like you don't go to like a fucking 5-star hotel and be like, we've assigned you a room.
Well, they do assign you a room. They say your room number is...
Yeah, but like they don't
Yeah, you're not wrong.
literally tell you that they're assigning it. Like they'd be like, and now if you could put these shackles on, like you'll get your mobile back at the end. Please put it in this plastic Ziploc bag.
Sounds like a Jack White concert.
Oh fuck, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, Jack.
So, my room had 2 bunk beds, a ratty carpet that stank of something far too foul for words,
Cheers.
and an ensuite in inverts.
That's a bucket
That, yeah.
Yeah.
The
and a rag.
The bunks were partially held together by duct tape, which my
Nice.
ape-like roommates took great joy in testing by throwing themselves up and down the fragile structures like maniacs.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be one of them.
Yeah, you do the same thing.
Also, sodomy.
Wait. I attempted to hide in the ensuite in preparation for the moment that the dumb fucks would destroy the damn things and we would all get screamed at.
Nice.
Boy, was that a mistake. This new hellhole that I found myself in somehow stank worse than the rest of the room. Linoleum like literal superglue under my boots.
Nice.
I immediately tried to book it out of there, but the door was held steadfast by my giggling roommates on the other side. After they let me out, I dubbed it the gas chamber, adding to the Auschwitz vibe. Maybe don't add.
Yeah.
It doesn't need additions.
Maybe don't add. You
We
don't need
already
that.
had our creative imaginations taking us there. You didn't have
Yeah.
to fucking solidify it.
And we left for the day's activities, none of which I remember. At the end of the day, we were lined up in the courtyard in the pouring rain and counted. I honestly thought we were going to be shot in rows. This is not...
This sounds awful.
This is horrendous. You paid money for this experience.
Yeah.
Some cult shit. Do you reckon his mum was like, we need to harden this guy up?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like what the SAS go through, right?
Yeah. We were sent back to our rooms and told to sleep, which none of us did.
Right. Check. What was the date on this story?
Yeah, 1940. Oh, shit. I held a t-shirt over my mouth and tried to stomach the stench. Sleep finally came after my roommate stopped trying to make their bunks collapse, but it was interrupted at 2 a.m. by 3 alarms with pornographic ringtones. Yeah, I remember. I remember
sounds
that.
about right.
The next morning I was too tired, so I sat at the boys' table with my head firmly down. Next door's group came to visit, intrigued by our noises at 2 a.m, and friendly joking turned into pornographic swapping. Yeah. At which
You
point,
have the option to not make this trip weirder.
Yeah.
well, he does say, at which point I cut and ran.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
You know what he did? He left the fucking hut.
He did leave the
Yeah,
hat.
he did. Yeah, good.
Fucking well
good
played.
work. Well done. Well done, pal.
Finally.
This is starting to go off the rails very quickly. That night, somebody punched through a crumbling section of wall from the other side, eventually breaking through.
That is the first time that I laid eyes on Andy Dufresne.
Once the laughter and overblown sex noises subsided, I was finally able to get some sleep. The next morning, the shower's drains broke, which flooded the stinking linoleum in the gas chamber.
Nice.
Oh, fuck me.
They had to make a fucking reference, didn't they?
I paddled my way out of there and reported it.
Oh God, it is Andy Dufresne.
Yeah.
He just gets to the end of it, hangs in the air.
Where I discovered that this was a common occurrence, and for the time being, there was nothing they could do. This just doesn't sound... This isn't right. This is right.
This sounds
You're not
pretty,
going home the same, are
pretty
you?
poor to me.
I re-entered the door. Oh
Ooh.
God, I've just skipped a line. Oh, fuck me, right. I re-entered my dormitory at the end of another failed day, relishing in the thought of going home after just one more night of this bullshit. My eyes briefly drifted to the hole in the wall, which was exactly at dick height.
Hey.
Oh, no.
Why would it be at that hut, John?
Oh no, there ain't no glory on that side. The details of how it started aren't clear in my mind. It's hard to remember much of what I experienced with a t-shirt jammed over my face.
Oh.
But the hole in the wall ended up becoming a rudimentary glory hole.
Yeah.
Both sides participated, and I believe a small bottle of shampoo was used as makeshift lube.
Jesus Christ. A chunky penis.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it was the friction of the drywall or the chemicals in their odd choice of lubricant, but one of them was forced to run to the still flooded ensuite to wash off the irritant. The other baboons in my dorm thought it would be hilarious to listen in. A pointless gesture, as I could hear the splash of him pissing all the way from my bunk, and I assume he wasn't aiming very well, and most of it ending up in the ankle-deep flood by the sound of things. This is it sounds like Basra.
This is
not
grim.
good.
Yeah. I don't know, old enough reference. Wounds have been healed.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
Zero Dark Turdy.
No, don't open the door because I walked through it. I couldn't help it. I rolled over and snuck a glance of the snuff movie spectacle before me.
Oh, Jesus.
Two of my roommates stood in fortified stances, leaning half naked against the ensuite door and giggling. My third roommate was already fighting to be let out with a loud series of swearing and thumping noises. And through the hole in the wall, a rock-hard, somewhat hopeful penis made an appearance. This is fucking anarchy, isn't it?
I feel
Hopeful
like
penis.
this is like how they came to take those pictures from the American Marines of captured people in Afghanistan. Like,
Yeah.
This is where this is going, right?
Oh, fuck me. I jammed the t-shirt back over my head at light speed, rolling over and shutting my eyes. Attempting to sleep was impossible, especially when the sounds of pleading and struggling were replaced with the sounds of violent vomiting within the gas chamber.
I imagine that this is what it sounded like to live inside of like an 18th century sanatorium. Like it's just screams from down the hallways.
It's just fucking madness.
Why are you here again? I've kind of lost the reasoning.
His mum sent him here to, by the sounds of it, get sodomized.
What did you do? Like,
Yeah. My orangutan roommates had enough post-nut clarity the next morning to agree that nothing had happened the previous night.
it's booty hole camp.
And despite my lack of participation, I quickly agreed too. Some things deserve to be firmly forgotten, unless, of course, your author's passions are awakened by her hilarious podcast. Well, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't send any more like that.
Cheers.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I think.
When I emerged into the courtyard the next day, the air never tasted so sweet. I shared some of the milder points of my insane experience with a girl sitting across from me on the coach ride who turned out to be one of the most pleasant and intelligent people I'd met in a long time. We held hands and she actually became my first girlfriend for a little while, which means 10 out of 10, I would definitely do it again. Fantastic.
Right.
Turned it around.
Yeah. Silver
Good
linings.
Yeah. Happy ending. Well, yeah. But
That's a lot of, that's a horrendous story.
That's something.
so it had flooded toilet,
Yeah.
piss, vomit, glory holes. But then in the end,
Screaming down hallways.
but then in the end, he found his soulmate.
There you got the girl.
He found a love in a stranger's place.
And that's how I met your mother. Right, moving on.
Yeah.
This sounds like the beginning of a very dark art house film. The Raisin.
It's the raisin.
Dun, dun, dun.
But who was the guy who did the fucking... Oh, he was an epic racist, but he wrote those horror stories.
Hitler.
Oh, Lovecraft.
Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft. Yes. That's like, this is an H.P.
Oh, was he racist? Well, I found out quite recently that Enid Blyton was really racist, and I didn't really kind of clock it, and then you...
She was
Enid.
yeah,
She
but
was
the
always
thing
going
is,
to be racist.
she was probably like a light dusting of racism, whereas this guy was just outwardly like
She was probably just like 19... I don't know when she lived, 1920s racist.
The Raisin
The Raisin.
raisin.
by H.P. Lovecraft. Many years ago. By the way, this did not come with a name, which is when you can't even bring yourself to make up a name, you are creating distance between you and the story.
Or the person emailing asked me to keep it very, very anonymous.
Yeah. It wasn't a raisin, it was a banana.
If you want your stories to be kept anonymous, please send them into Stories Out the Thread of Gentlemen.
Bro,
Specify how anonymous you'd like them to be.
nice.
I love it, man. I don't want anybody else doing those fucking roll calls. Just every single time you do it. Many years ago, I applied for a loan from a popular high street bank. That was already a mistake.
Yeah. But times are hard, you know.
Yeah.
I made an appointment and headed down on a crisp, fresh winter's day.
I like it.
Right.
The person in this story, who is extremely anonymous, was about 17 or 18 at the time, and still very shy around women, especially good-looking ones. Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I get it.
Not a crime. Although I feel like it's going to turn into one. To my equal pleasure and dismay, my appointment was with a beautiful young woman who opened her office door and called me in. Just go with it.
But they do that, don't they? Like when they want banks want you to buy a product, you get honey trapped every single fucking time.
Nice.
It'll be an attractive young woman. If someone wants to sell you something, it's an attractive young woman. As soon as you get follow-up meetings, it's like fucking Gary from head office.
Yeah.
To my equal pleasure and dismay, my appointment was with a beautiful young woman who opened her office door and called me in. Hello. Rock and a hard place, my friend.
Yeah, I know where the hard place is.
It was pretty warm in her office as we went through all the personal details and boring small print. I see where this is going. She's like, she start unbuttoning things.
Yeah.
Just fucking glass.
Do you want another 10 grand? Titties.
I was thinking more
I don't know how
subtle,
banking works. I'm
but
gonna
so it's pretty warm in her office. And then they went through all the personal details and the boring small print of their terms and conditions. As I sat there, I was getting agitated by something stuck at the back of one of my nostrils. Ooh.
Right, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I like this. I like these stories because like none of the parts are adding up yet, but they will. They will.
We hope they will.
Nervous around women, nervous around attractive women, hot in the office, trying to get a loan, something stuck in the back of the nose. None of these parts are coming together, but there's a convergence about to happen. It was becoming uncomfortable and I kept having to sniff, which I presumed would soon become annoying to the bank assistant, as it already was to me. Yeah, you sound like a nerd when you're there. You're like...
Yeah.
I needed to do something about this, but with it being cold outside and warm in this office, I knew blowing my nose could end up in a mess. I mean, roll the dice.
Yeah, just do it, man.
Quicker you blow, the better it is.
Going back to the last story.
Idea. Luckily, the young lady said she needed to pop out of the office and get some forms, giving me a moment I needed. I had a couple of napkins in my pocket from Mackie D's and wasted no time in blowing my nose. After a couple of blows, I felt it dislodge and come out. I checked the tissue, as you do. Nothing there. Yeah, you always check.
Yeah.
Why do we do that?
So he's got a Houdini.
What's that?
Well, he's blowed his nose. He's felt it come out, and nothing fucking there.
Yeah, that's... Wow. Okay, the blockage had cleared, but I'd felt it come out. But how? Oh, shit. She's just come back in with the forms. I like that. Building tension.
Yeah.
Fucking... Oh, I feel for him.
Yeah.
Because it's somewhere.
It's somewhere.
You know it's somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be in his moustache if he had one.
Fuck, man. For the next 15 minutes, we finished off the forms and shook hands. I left the bank, and within a few seconds, I felt something on my chin. Yes!
No!
I touched my finger on it, and it had pulled off. It was a bogey the size of a fucking raisin. And it ended up on my chin instead of the napkin. And it had been the entire time. Ended up with a bogey on your chin. So there
we are.
Yep.
God, could you imagine as well? Because it's a bank manager. It's not as though, like, you know, this is a serious thing because, you know, you're getting a loan, you need help.
There's certain things that I kind of don't care about, and as embarrassing as that is, I'm like, yeah, never seeing them again.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, you're with an attractive woman and you've got snot on your fucking face.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that, like, if that happened to me, every night before I went to sleep, my brain would be like, do you remember the time?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't it?
It would
Yeah,
fade.
like-
It would fade. But
No, it wouldn't fade.
Nah, fade.
20 years later, you're still going to be thinking about that. You're still going to be remember that being like, oh shit, I remember that time.
Maybe. But I'm going to go with just, you're all right. You're okay. It's
Yeah.
a bit of bogey. You're okay. He says, now, in all honesty, I can't remember
least
if
it
she
wasn't a
looked at me
turd.
any different or pretended not to notice. Either way, I never applied for any more loans or credit cards after that again. Not related.
But very good financial steadfastness
Yeah.
and good advice from a horrible situation.
Yes. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
You got snot on your chin. That's not good.
So all right, I've got one here.
Do it.
So back in high school, there was this one girl who was an absolute unit and not very hygienic to boot. She showed up at one party, but kind of vanished halfway through, and no one even noticed. Later that night, I had to get something from the host's room, and when I opened the door, I was greeted by the sight, smell, and sound of some dude just railing this girl from behind. And the guy was this skinny little dweeb. Dweeb is such a good word. You've seen the pic of Mowgli from the Jungle Book with the elephant. There's your visual. She's
Don't want it. Take it back.
She's making a sound not unlike a bear trying to shit a pine cone. But the smell, oh sweet Jesus, the smell.
Oh.
A mix of old tuna.
And milk.
A mix of old tuna, open ass, and unwashed balls.
See, it's funny because like that you've put that
Open
combination
ass.
together and no one else has, so that's come through pure
Yeah.
experience.
That's just all kinds of funk, isn't it?
I literally vomited on the spot. They noticed and just kept going. Yeah, of course they're going to notice if you just vomit everywhere.
Yeah.
I yelled at them to get the fuck out of my friend's room, and once they left, I ran down and grabbed my friend to let him know what happened. He went upstairs, a cry of disgust confirmed he'd entered the room, and he immediately came down and kicked everyone out. It took days for the smell to clear.
Fucking hell.
My boy had to sleep on the couch during that time.
Fucking hell.
Short but sweet.
Jesus. Right, so I've got another one. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I mean, I'm not ready, but I'll be ready.
So I met this man on 3 separate occasions,
Oh, dear.
and I literally only ever knew him as the captain. Good
Okay.
nickname to have, honestly.
This is a hooker.
the captain. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
This is an escort story. I don't know anything about him. He calls himself the captain.
Yeah, it's a fair chance of that.
You're an escort.
I don't do drugs, but my friend certainly did. We were at a party and my buddy asked some girl where he could find some Molly. And she says, you'll have to talk to the captain, and just walks away.
Nice.
We were absolutely fucking mystified as to what that meant. Like an answer to our prayers, the crowd splits for a second and this dude with a comically large pirate hat just appears right in front of us. Nice, he plays for it.
That guy
I like this.
has the drugs.
Yeah.
My friend goes, are you the captain? Without a word, he smiles and takes off his hat, revealing a massive bag of Gatorade Blue Molly that was taped to the inside.
There's also a parrot under there as well.
Then he hands my buddy a little dime bag, gives a very convincing yard,
Committed to the role. This guy is a
disappears
gentleman.
into the crowd.
Nice.
Nice.
Fades away.
Yeah, I love
That
it.
is his fucking second job, by the way. He's a successful hedge fund manager.
I laughed so hard I almost puked, and I swear every time.
yeah,
you would.
By the way, that Molly was delicious.
Yeah. I swear every time I saw this dude, it was like he was some mysterious pirate deity that would suddenly appear with the sole purpose of giving people free drugs and then disappear again.
Count yourself fucking lucky, by the way,
think
because
this could
that
be
is
Jesus.
a wonderful, wonderful experience of drug dealing.
I'm having some sort of flashbacks. I think that might have been me.
I'm afraid to say, if that is your first time picking up Molly, I'm not only horrendously jealous, but like I actually think that that's wrong, because picking up drugs should always feel like the first time having sex.
It should be terrifying.
It should be terrifying. It should be awkward. It should be in a situation that nobody wants to be in. The literal place is ugly, and the person that you're receiving it from is not to be trusted.
Is your uncle?
I've got another very short but sweet one here.
Okay. My penis.
Very, very short but sweet. I was at a party with loads of my mates, and when one of them disappeared for a while,
Oh dear.
we all went to look for him but couldn't find him anywhere. We eventually found him in an ensuite, balls deep in a pumpkin.
Nice.
Nice.
I was going with ketamine, but that's better.
Yeah, balls deep in a pumpkin.
It's better than a K-hole. So, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Huh. Right. Yeah.
wasn't even Halloween.
So I'm going to tell you the origin story of two of my parents' friends' nicknames.
Oh.
Parents' friends' nicknames are good because that's had to last like 4 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Everyone's got that parent. It's like the machine. Or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
This is going to be grim.
Oh God, it's going to be a good story.
Cheese socks or...
Well, there's a clue in the name here. One was dubbed bong water.
nice.
Yeah.
As you can probably surmise, he got it from drinking old bong water and it stuck.
There's no version of bong water that's delicious.
No.
It's new or old. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. The second friend was called Butterbean. Did he eat like a bunch of butter beans, you ask?
No.
No.
Not on this
chance.
show.
So Butterbean was a short guy. Is that why?
No.
There was another friend in the group that wasn't as close. I don't remember her name, but we will call her June. June was also
It was
really
June.
short.
June, would you?
Yeah.
Perfect match for Butterbean.
Okay, June and Butterbean.
June and Butterbean.
It sounds
So
nice.
I guess one night, June and Butterbean hook up. By hook up, I mean they had anal.
All right, yeah, in the deep end, literally.
Straight up.
When Butterbean finished and pulled out, June gave him a tiny little present on the tip of his dick. A Butterbean.
Oh, for fuck's
I wanted it to go anywhere else.
So, right, so last season we had fucking
Don't
sweet
pick it
corn.
apart, Just leave it there.
Leave it be. He screwed that undigested Butterbean right out her butt and seared the imagery onto everyone's minds who hears that story from here on out.
This is the show that took the fact of where vanilla flavouring comes from and managed to make it the most pleasant thing.
Yeah.
It's so harmless. That's got no razor edge to it anymore. Like I'll have some ice cream right now.
See, I can't now. That's actually changed me as a person.
Nah, not after the show. Because no.
And Butterbeans, so that's ruined for me as well.
Oh, Jesus, wept.
You're welcome, listeners.
Wow, yeah, thank you.
Oh man. So okay, let's do a roundup time. What was our favourite story? We had the jar.
We had the jar, we had the raisin.
We had the raisin, and we had I didn't contribute. I want to give it to I didn't contribute just because I think he's been through a fucking lot.
I think that person's been through a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with jar.
But then the jar is good as well.
jar.
Yeah.
The jar,
But that was our decision. What's your decision?
Yeah.
Check out our Instagram.
Jar.
I'm sure it'll be on there.
Yeah.
With a poll of who you think should win and who we should send this amazing t-shirt to.
The jar, but I'm not biased. Jar.
So yeah, I think
I
it'll
want
be
to send it to Butterbean.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
No.
Yeah. But listen, he got anal, so he won in the end. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Charlie, where can people send in their
Good
stories
question.
to?
If you ever send them into stories@thethreadofgentleman.com or go on our socials, our Facebook, we've probably got Instagram, probably got that. YouTube, like and subscribe.
I mean, usually it's
probably
silky
got
smooth.
that.
Fucking, you tripped and fell your way through this.
It's not it's
Fucking Google it.
Go on the internet, Google us, find us, like and subscribe.
Send in stories.
Guys, thank you so much for listening, and I'm so sorry for what we've done to you today.
Muchas gracias.
No, you can't throw him in at the end.
Yes, you can. Bye.